Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Give me a second here, guys. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing tonight? So, we're on for some readings. I will explain how the readings work. And I'm also going to introduce myself for whoever's new to watching. If there's anybody new watching. Hello. I do see a few people jumping on, so that's awesome. So we are currently on live on YouTube and Facebook. Just letting you guys know. So if you get a little confused, I'm streaming in two different places at the moment. So for those of you who are new to watching my lives, my name is Becky, and I am the co-owner of Mystical Essence. I do tarot card readings, oracle card readings, astrology readings, and I'm a spiritual mentor. Hello, Brandy. So I have been reading tarot about 5 years now, give or take. I mean, you kind of lose track of time after a while, but it's been about 5 years. Um, and I like reading tarot because I like to help empower people. So that's kind of my goal, is to help give you guys insights and knowledge into different things to help you along your path in life and kind of step into your power. When I see people having confidence in the choices they're making and really being able to be themselves and live their best life, that's what makes me happy. So that is why I like doing this. So we're going to go over some of the rules on how to get a reading. I did switch it up a little bit today. So we're going to go over some of this. Just give me a second here and let me pull up what things. Okay. So, whoops. I don't know what I'm doing. First way to get a reading, you can purchase one, okay? I have them set at $5 because that seems to be, I was trying to get a feeling for how much people could generally afford, and it was around $5. So that's what I set the ratings at, is $5. You can purchase one using the link in the pinned comment. It'll take you over to a listing in my Etsy shop, which is where all my tarot readings are done, even my private ones. And then you can purchase one from there. Okay. If you have any troubles, please feel free to drop a comment here and I can try and help you through the process. So if you pay for a reading, if you purchase a reading, that guarantees you a reading, and you can ask a specific question, okay? Or give me a specific topic. If you don't have a question in mind and you just have a topic, that's cool too. When you give me a topic, though, I'm just going to read whatever comes up in the cards in regards to that topic, okay? So if you guys have a specific question, please make sure to give me the specific question if you're looking for something very specific, okay? Because otherwise, I've had it before where people are like, I want a love reading, but they have something specific in love that they want to know about, and then they don't ask the question specifically. And then when my reading doesn't pick up on it, they kind of get disappointed. But that's why I say, like, give me a specific question if you have something specific in mind you want to know about. I don't do health of pregnancy or legal questions. So any of those I cannot answer. Okay. There is another option for free readings. All you have to do is comment your name and I will read who I'm drawn to. Okay. I want to clear this up because I think there was some misunderstanding the last time I was live on how the free readings work. I read who I'm pulled to. Okay. So if I'm not pulled to you that week, I'm not going to read for you. And that doesn't mean you're not ever going to get a reading. It just means that the spirits I work with don't have any messages for you that week, okay? Which is okay. Not everybody is. So, commenting your name does not guarantee you a reading. If you want a guaranteed reading, please purchase one, okay? I just wanted to clear that up because there did seem to be some, I think, miscommunication around that last week. If you receive a free reading and you want a longer reading or you want a reading on something else, you can purchase a reading using the link in the pinned comments, okay? They are $5, guys. They're not very expensive. I tried to make them reasonable. Use your manners, please, and thank you, okay? I don't want anybody rude on here. Please, guys, no preaching, no, just the usual. Use your manners, be respectful, be polite. If you are being disrespectful, you will get blocked. It's just that simple. I'm not going to hide it. If you guys have questions about whether you're seeing if I'm seeing your comments or not, just drop a comment in asking if I see your comments. Okay, don't message me because I can't check my messages while I'm live. That's the other thing, guys. So if you message me, I'm probably not going to get back to you till tomorrow because it's really late by the time I get off. And yeah, so if you message me, I can't check my inbox while I'm live. And so if you're wondering if I'm seeing your comments, just drop a comment in the comments and say, are you seeing it? I always recommend not to do the hello, 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 hello constantly because Facebook picks it up as, especially if it's like in a short span of time, Facebook will pick it up as spam and then they'll block your comments so I won't be able to see them. Okay. If you get a reply to your comments, if you're watching on either Facebook or YouTube and you get a reply to your comments saying offering some sort of reading, if you're on Facebook and you get an inbox or a friend's request offering readings or from a page that's spelt similar to mine, there's a lot of copycats out there, guys, a lot of frauds. These people are scams. So please block them, delete them, report them, do whatever you got to do, but don't give them money. I don't want to see anybody get conned. Okay, guys? Sound good? So how's everybody doing? Also, guys, I wanted to ask you, if I set it up so like you could purchase different types of readings, like oracle card readings, tarot readings, rune readings, pendulum readings, would that be something that you're interested in? through, guys. Perfect, perfect. So we have the 3 decks that came out tonight, okay? We have the Ghost Tarot. I love this deck. I don't know why. It's one of my favorite decks to work with. We also have the, and this is a mini deck, you can tell, but we have the Witch's Tarot. And then we have an Oracle deck, well, sort of an Oracle deck, that's called Postcards from Spirit. And these literally just have channeled messages from Spirit, Source, Guides, whatever you want to call them, written out on them. Okay. So guys, if you want a free reading, comment your name, drop your name, let me know. If you want a guaranteed reading, meaning you are guaranteed one tonight or you have a specific question, please purchase a reading through the link in the pinned comments. They are $5. I feel like Superwoman here. Okay, guys, so we did have some cards flying out as I was just shuffling, so I'm going to show you guys that and give you guys the message for that. I just want to see what's on the bottom of the deck here. 3 of Cups. Okay. Hello, Ruth. Awesome, awesome. So we have the Judgment card coming up, guys. We have the 9 of Swords coming up. We have the 10 of Pentacles coming up. I feel like this is a message from somebody's loved ones or Okay, for people worrying, I know this is gonna sound weird, and we're gonna make this for the collective, because I don't like doing like generalized readings just for a specific group of people, and they're telling me to kind of broaden this. The Judgment card, I feel like, is talking about there's a lot of fear right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I have definitely around the end of the world, the apocalypse. Basically what the Judgment card was built around in terms of like Rider Waite when in the Christianity aspect of it. They want you to stop worrying. Okay, we have to stop worrying about things that are to come that have not come yet, because the future is always being molded. So they want you, whatever judgments you're holding about the future, whatever worries we're holding about the future, because the nine of Pentacles, the 9 of Swords is coming up too, which is like nightmares and anxiety and stuff. The reversed, it's like just let it, release it, let it go. Stop worrying about it. We're being ushered. There's a lot of things coming into an end in the physical. So the Pentacles talks about the physical realm around us. Pentacles talk about the physical realm around us. And you can see how the spirits in this card are like ushering these people forward. They're moving them forward. We're being guided forward, okay, into something new. After the 10 comes the ace again. It goes back around and we end up back at the Ace of Pentacles, which is the beginning of something new, a new physical cycle. That's what we're heading into, right? That's what we're moving into is something new. But in order to start something new, we have to finish the old, right? We have to kind of let the old fall away. We have to let things that aren't working fall away, everything like that. So what's going on in the world, although it may seem like Judgment Day, it may seem apocalyptic, it may seem really crazy, it's not, okay? This is all part of a cycle of things, and it will come to an end, but they're saying don't worry about it. We need to have a little bit of faith. I'm getting it's in the hands of fate. When I seen this Three of Cups card come up, this is support, but what I'm getting from this card specifically, they're showing me, I don't know if you guys have followed traditions that have like the what do they call them? I just had the name in my head and I forget it now. It's gone. There's the three women that spin the wheel of fate. Do you know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. The Norns. I think that's the name of them. The three Norns. Does that make sense? But they control fate. They essentially weave the threads of destiny, right? That's what I'm getting from this card. That's the energy I'm coming from this card, that things are going the way they're supposed to be. They're progressing the way they're supposed to be. And some of this stuff is bigger than us, I feel like. And we just kind of have to have a little bit of faith in things. Hello, Cecily. Hello, Brenda. Oh, Brenda. Okay. Yeah, the Fates. They have different names in different pantheons. I know the Norse have their own names for them. The Celtics have their own names for them. There's lots of different names for them, but yeah. They are the Fates. Okay, guys. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I think sometimes we can get caught up in like world affairs. I think we forget how powerful our minds can be, and that we can. Everything comes to an end. I try not to worry about too much things because, I mean, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, that there's so much beyond our control. Like when you look at all the hazards, if you start looking at it into astronomy and stuff, and all the hazards that can happen to Earth just from space itself that are way beyond our control, like meteorites hitting Earth, solar flares knocking at the grids, all these things that can happen that are beyond our control. I think sometimes it makes you step back and go like, well, you know, the whole world could be wiped out in an instant, and you know, there's nothing really we can do about it, so why worry? At least when it comes to like natural stuff, right? Why worry? I know that sounds really bad, but that's kind of There's a lot of, Brandy, you're not the only one who worries about the end of the world. I know a lot of people who do. But the more we worry about it, the more we put that energy out, and then that manifests too. I mean, a good way of looking at that is if you've ever worried about something obsessively and then it's happened, even in your personal life, right? That's a good example of that. When you're like, oh my God. And then you obsess over it and you go over it and over and over and over, and then it happens. So let me see, guys. Hello, Lucky. I am doing good. How are you? Awesome. 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 Okay, Chrystal, I'm gonna pull some cards for you. And guys, too, the other thing that I was told to tell you is even if I don't have a direct message for you, and this has happened with a lot of people who've watched my lives, watch anyways. I always encourage people to watch because sometimes the messages I give for other people apply to you, and sometimes that's another reason why I don't feel drawn to you, because maybe I'll find somebody else I'm drawn to that holds the same message, right? And then I don't have to repeat myself. My guides are not very big on repetition. They're not. um so don't get discouraged, don't log off, don't run away, because you never know what's in a message for somebody that might apply to you too. We're all connected that way, right? I've had that happen quite a bit where people are like, that reading could be for me. And I'm like, well, if it resonates with you, then it's for you, even though I was doing it for somebody else as well. It is possible for readings to be for more than one person. So let's see. The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Um, the word defensive came through with this card. And I want to say, like, don't be so defensive. Don't jump to conclusions about things. The Knight of Swords is very, very, very notorious for jumping the gun with things, right? He's very much a energy that is led by their thoughts and their actions, by thoughts specifically. They're led into action through thoughts and through words, right? But they're very, Knight of Swords is very like strategic and intelligent, and they take action, very calculated actions. But I feel like for you, this is more of a energy of where things may be being projected at you, or people may say something to you, and automatically the sword comes up and you get really defensive about it. Okay. Try not to be so defensive. Try not to jump the gun on things. If you don't understand something, ask. Okay? Because it's very easy with this energy, I feel like, especially for you, to maybe take things misunderstand. And it's easy for misunderstandings to happen. I don't know if you have So a lot of people I know who have this issue have Mercury retrograde in their charts, where it takes a bit of time for things to process, right? Or it takes a bit of time for them to kind of, they have to like take a step back from what people are saying and let it digest before they respond, because otherwise things get all confuddled in their head, their minds race a million miles a minute, and they respond not really knowing, fully understanding things. So just be careful of that. Try not to be so defensive about things. Be defensive when it's necessary, but don't jump to conclusions if there's something that you think you need to be defensive of, or just clarify it. Sometimes it's not what people say, it's how they say it, right? So sometimes people come at you with a good intention, but they say it the wrong way. And then our defenses go up. Right? Um, don't do that. Uh, Clarify. I'm gonna say clarify, 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 because sometimes people's intentions are not always that way. So these are good examples of the messages that I was talking about, guys. Does that make sense at all, Chrystal? You're welcome. Okay. I get that way. Actually, I was just telling my husband about that too, because we were talking about communication, right? And how, easy it is to get, and I'm the type of person too that, you get defensive with me and I get defensive right back. If you come at me in a very aggressive way, I'm going to come back at you in an aggressive way. But I'm starting to learn to ask what exactly he means, because sometimes it's just the way he says it and he doesn't necessarily mean it in that way, but the tone that comes across is very aggressive, and then I want to be aggressive back and I'm like, wait, maybe that's not how he meant it. So I have to take a step back and be like, how did you mean that? Like, what did you mean? Explain this to me, because I don't want to get defensive and upset over something that doesn't need to be defensive or upset about. And it's really easy to do. It's like hair triggers, right? Ruth, I don't read profile pictures. I can do it, but I don't typically do it. The reason being is because I don't like to pry into people's personal energy like that. Um, and things that have come through have not, sometimes really personal things come through that I don't like bringing up. Cecily, you made a purchase. Oh, thank you, Cecily. Well, I mean, if you want to, I don't know what to do about giving me more. I set it at $5 because you can, if you want to give more, I mean, you could, I guess, purchase more if you wanted to, but like purchase multiple readings would be the way I would suggest it. But I set it at $5 because that seemed to be like the average price range that people were paying. And I know they're worth more, but I used to have them at $15 and then people were complaining they were too expensive. So I don't know what to do. I'm like really trying. I'm trying. Lucky there's a link in the pinned comment to my Etsy for the paid readings. So I just sent people over there because I'm trying to pick up some traffic to my Etsy shop as well. So that's where I do all my like personal readings and private readings from. So yes, there is a place to pay for readings if you want one. Cecily, I'm gonna pull up your reading. I know I called you and told you I was like, but yes, guys, if you want to pay more, then just what I suggest is purchasing more, and then I can do a longer reading for you if you want, or I can do multiple readings for you, whatever works. I don't know. Whatever works. Or I can answer one, depending on what you guys want to do. I don't know. I'm so easygoing. I just I feel like it's not very professional sometimes, but it is what it is. Why do I got this card flipped over? Okay, we have the King of Cups. That was flipped. Whoa. Okay. Somehow, give me a second here, because I don't know what happened, but somehow some of the cards in my deck are all flippy floppy, and that's not cool. Did I forget to flip these over when I started shuffling? Probably. Sorry about that. So, Cecily. Cecily. Oh, whoa. Okay. Okay. I get it. Um, okay, Cecily, so I'm getting that it's still happening because there hasn't been a decision made to, yeah. You're still connected to this person. Wow, really, holy crap. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, yep. That makes sense. Okay. So, aw. Well, thank you, Cecily. So we have, I'm gonna show you your cards, my dear. We have the Knight of Wands is coming up reversed, and the Eight of Cups is also coming up reversed. See how in the way I love this Eight of Cups is, do you see I was waving goodbye? Right? So that tells me that the situation is still occurring because no action has been taken to move on from it. There could be no official goodbye or no, parting of ways or whatever the case may be. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't have to be a relationship or a person. If this is a situation, you haven't said goodbye to the situation symbolically, right? If it's like a job or if it's a person, I feel like it's it could be a lot of things, but I feel like there's definitely a connection to this still that has not been severed. Okay. So even if you have physically walked away from this, it's saying emotionally you have not. Emotionally, you're still connected to this, which means that you're still tethered to this situation. And this is why it keeps happening over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. And this is this is the challenge for you, is to work up the courage to walk away from it. Okay. The Five of Swords is coming up, and you can see how these two people in the background are walking away, right? Like you have to kind of distance yourself from this energy. And this is on you, my dear. It's on you. Um I'm getting awesome. No, Cecily, it won't take more spots. It'll just I'll just read them all as one. So don't worry about it. It wouldn't take more spots at all. But it's yeah. And like emotionally, you're just somebody you care. And you try to put your best into everything. And I see that, but you haven't, you're still clinging on to this, okay? So we have the Queen of Cups coming up reversed, which was in behind that Five of Swords. Like this is your difficulty is separating from this energy, right? And making that decision, that final decision. I feel like it could take a big push, like something that tilts you right to the edge, and then you just say, screw it, right? There is some attachment still because the Libra card, I'm going to show you the Libra card and the Two of Cups are coming up reverse. Both of these have to do with partnerships and attachments to things. Libras are known for their codependency, very much so. Um, and I feel like, you know, emotionally, it's not that there isn't the desire and the mentality to want to leave. It's just emotionally, it feels like you haven't, um, your heart hasn't made that decision. It's like mentally, you're like, yes, I'm done with it. I want to walk away. And that's the energy that's being expressed. But internally, you're like, your heart's like, nope, 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 still attached, still want to keep going, still, you know. Does that make sense? So what I'm going to suggest is to do some introspective work to look at why emotionally you're still connected to this, okay? Because reverse cards tell me to take they're literally a reflection. And this is the way that it came through with my guides when I've been meditating and you're having trouble with something, is to look at these cards as a reflection of something that you need to reflect on, right? And what's coming through is this desire to say goodbye but not being able to. So you need to kind of figure out where that is stemming from, and then once you deal with that, you'll be able to end the situation at a whole. You're welcome. The other thing that sometimes is really hard is we pull people back and we pull situations back from thinking about them. Um, so yeah, but I don't feel like that's the case. I just feel like there's some sort of emotional attachment to the situation. Oh, and the other thing that comes through with this justice card is the heart. Like I said, it's kind of imbalanced too. So your heart and your mind are kind of fighting and warring each other. Like your mind's like, nope, I want to move on. And the heart's like, nope. Nope, nope, nope. So when you can bring those two into balance, right, and figure out why your heart doesn't want to let go, you'll be able to move on from things. I feel like there's a comfort and a stability, and there's kind of like a fear underneath of this because the Four of Cups is coming up. There's like a comfortability in it that emotionally you find, and it's kind of hard to move out of that because it's kind of out of your comfort zone. And you're like, nope, I don't want to. It's too unstable. I don't know what's next. Yeah. Cecily, sometimes when, okay, you said it's weird because in the past, like, you've totally walked away. So here's what I can tell you from my own experiences is sometimes we think we've walked away, but we really haven't. And sometimes we can reattach ourselves with people and things, even unintentionally. So the hard part about walking away is like you have to say goodbye to that completely. And not to the point that it doesn't exist, but to the point that there's no emotional attachment to it. And that's the hard part because, you know, when we have relationships with people, when we connect to things, when we put time and energy into things, it's really hard to just walk away because, right? But if you can walk away, if you can figure out why there's still that emotional attachment to whatever the situation is, whether it's a person, whether it's a place, whether it's a situation, right? Um, like I said, it could, there's lots of things. I feel like it's because there's a lot of cups coming up, it could be um relationship stuff, but I'm not gonna say for sure. Um But, you know, we still, even though we physically walk away, our heart's still with that thing, right? Our heart is still emotionally, we're still attached to it. You know, my childhood home, you know, I don't live there anymore, but every time I go back there, I get emotional because my heart is still there. I haven't severed the ties to that. And personally, I don't want to because they're not hindering me in any way, shape, or form. But if this is something that you want to completely kind of cut yourself away from, then you have to kind of cut that emotional tie, right? But in order to do that, you have to figure out what's causing it. Perfect. Lucky. Got your payment. Thank you. So Lucky, do you have a question for me? Cicely, I'm gonna look into yours a little bit further. I think just give me, they're telling me to come back, so give me a minute and I'll come back to that because I feel like there's definitely oh, that okay, that's why they're telling me to come back to that because that's a longer thing. Okay. I'll come back to that because I have dealt with that personally. So I can tell you from experience how to handle that. And I'm probably going to get really personal, but this is why we have experiences, everybody. Um, so we can share and learn from each other. Things were going so well to me. It's going at 100 now. What's a lot going on? How was Tim feeling about us? Okay. Oh, well, thank you, Cicely. I'll definitely look into that for you, because they're definitely telling me to go look into that for you. But lucky, 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 lucky. Okay. So lucky, give me a minute here. Um, so would you mind if I kind of reworded this as to what you can do to improve the situation? Because here's what I'm going to say. If I look into what he's feeling about you, and this is where I've had trouble with some of these readings before, is feelings change constantly. So you know, I can get in a fight with my partner and he may hate me at that moment. And if I do a reading asking, well, how does he feel about me? That's what I'm going to get. He hates you. When in reality, he loves me, but that's what he's feeling at that moment. But 5 minutes later, half an hour later, an hour later, when he calms down, it's going to change because our feelings and our emotions change. I feel like what would be better to ask is what can you do to improve the situation, or what is really going on with the situation. I feel like improving the situation. Or asking why he's pulled away instead of what he's feeling. But I feel like even if you ask why he's pulled away, that really gives you nothing to work with, right? Just a reason why. um, awesome. 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 I just don't want to give you a reading and be like, well, this is how he feels, right? And then 5, 10 minutes later, he's going to feel different because I'm picking up on his emotions now. And I know well enough to know that emotions change. Even thoughts change. Like people ask me, well, what are they thinking? And I'm like, you don't, why? I think the question is, why do you want to know what they're thinking or feeling? Like, what are you hoping to get out of that? Because then I can get a question that will be better answered, right? Like, why are you wondering this? So let me see. I feel like I'm using the wrong deck. Yeah, I am using the wrong deck. That's why. Yeah, that's what I thought. I feel like I get comfortable. I'm like a Taur. I'm a Taurus moon, so intuitively I get comfortable with things, and then I don't like to like change anything up. And they're like, I gave you multiple decks for a reason. Oh, guys. Okay, so for you, Hocus Pocus, Hocus Pocus. I am not a Hocus Pocus fan, but for you Hocus Pocus fans, I have a Hocus Pocus deck coming in. So that'll be fun to play with because I know a lot of people love that movie. I am not a big fan of it, but I'm kind of excited to work with it because I can feel everybody else's excitement around that. So what can she do? What can Lucky do to what can she do to improve the situation? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. First card that came out is the Knight of Cups, which just verifies what you've been saying. Like he's completely kind of pulled away what he was giving to you. But the question is why and what can be done about it, right? Like I feel like not. Okay. So that's why. Yeah. There's something going on with that long-term relationship or things from his past that is affecting why he's acting the way he is now. Which I will look into a little bit more in a minute. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay, what is what? Past, the past, the past, that's affecting him. He's trying to do some healing. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. So it's not, I don't feel like it's because he's not interested in you anymore, because I do feel like he's still interested in you, but he's pulled back because there's some things that he's still dealing with on his own. Okay. So the Knight of Cups shows me that he's kind of stopped offering things. He stopped being romantic. He stopped being caring. He's kind of pulled back the emotional actions a little bit, and now they're more introverted, right? He's just not kind of expressing that as much. We're getting the Three of Pentacles coming up reversed, the King of Pentacles coming up reversed, the High Priest, which is the Hierophant, coming up reversed. The Six of Cups is upright, and the Two of Cups is reversed. Okay, so that tells me he's pulled back because there is some things from his past that he's still battling with. Okay, he's pulled back because this is stuff that he has to deal with on his own, and that he cannot, I don't think this is anything that anybody can help him with. Okay, as much as you may want to, and as much as he knows that you're there and you support him, I feel like he's like, this is something I have to deal with alone. Because this is the collaboration card, right? This is partnering up with people, building upon things. And this is reversed. He's like, I just got to deal with this on my own. And he's trying to take control of it. He's trying to do him. And I think he feels like, you know, he's got to deal with him before he can deal with anything else. Okay, does that make sense? He's trying to gain understanding of things from this High Priest energy. Like I said, the Six of Cups is coming up, and that was the active energy right now. And this is the past. This is relationships. This is trying to find an equilibrium between the past and the present and bridging that gap. I feel like there is things about past relationships coming up. Okay. Because the Two of Cups is also coming up reversed. He's trying to let a lot of shit go, I feel like. And it's something that he's like, I got to do this on my own. I can't necessarily, which is hard because I don't know if they've gotten back in contact and there's been communication. I don't feel like there has been communication. Okay. But there's a Five of Cups coming up. And then there's the Ten of Wands. When I asked what from the past, like what was this energy from the past that he was dealing with, that's what I was getting. And this is releasing all of this energy. So the Ten of Wands is a like built up amount of energy from the past experiences, past traumas, past energy and shit that we've just kind of been, that he's been holding on to. It's like, I want to like let this burden go. I want to drop these sticks. I want to release all this hurt and this pain. And I feel like that's what he's trying to do, is release some of that and deal with some of that while still kind of holding on and maintaining the lessons from that, if that makes sense. What I got for what you can do is just kind of keep pushing forward. You know, keep trying to reach out to him, keep showing him that you're there. I wouldn't be too pushy with it. Um, you might have to poke and prod at him. You might have to be a little aggressive. The Eight of Wands, wands can be a little bit assertive and a little bit aggressive, but I'm gonna say, like, it's a very fine line to tread with that, especially with somebody who feels like they have to deal with it alone, right? Because you can tell him, like, look, I'm here. You can get him to try and open up to you, but if he's not going to, then he's not going to, right? And that's totally his decision as well. The most you can do is put the energy out there and say, like, look, I'm here for support. I'm here if you need me, and keep kind of checking in with him, but don't be overly pushive and aggressive. Like, don't be in his face and be like, okay, you need to open up to me. You need to tell me what. That kind of, like, in your face and demanding it, because then he will definitely pull back, right? I feel like he's just going through a lot of internal stuff right now and trying to sort things out when it comes to his past relationships, um, and healing from that. And I think maybe this wasn't something he expected to pop up, because I don't think it was from the last reading. But I feel like it's something that maybe has popped up into his head recently, and that's kind of why he's pulled back. Does that make sense? Yeah. It definitely feels like he needs to work things out on his own. I'm not gonna lie about that. It definitely seems like there's a lot of things that he does need to work out on his own. And I think when you said that you were picking up on the right energy, but also, like, don't give up on it. The Eight of Wands is coming up, and those wands are pushing, especially in this card, they're pushing forward, right? Like, I don't feel like you should totally give up on this, but give him a space to sort through whatever he wants to go through. The eights also talk about the cycles, right? What's meant to be will be. After he's done going through this, if he's really serious about things, he'll, you know, return, so to speak. I don't want to say return, but things will pick back up, right? But sometimes we need that space to kind of deal with things, and that's personally why I kind of avoid anybody who's just getting out of a relationship, for that very reason, because a lot of times they're still carrying a lot of baggage and they haven't had the chance to kind of deal with stuff, right? And then you get kind of left with that. I think it's really important for people, but I mean, that's my opinion. So I try not to bring those into readings when I do them, because I don't want my readings tainted, right? Um, yes, I do think that you're doing the right thing. If you're looking for verification on whether you're doing the right thing and backing off and letting him deal with it, yes. But I feel like he does still need the support as well. So, don't totally back off, but I feel like kind of letting him reach out when he's ready might be the better thing. Does that make sense, Lucky? Nikki, give me a second and I will check. I'll check once I'm done with Lucky's reading. I just want to finish our reading. I don't think that it's not the right time. I think it's just that, you know, again, sometimes we go through things that are unexpected. It happens. But I think he kind of needs you as a support there too. And I think you being with him, oddly enough, I think you being with him kind of catapulted to these things. And maybe you coming into the picture was another thing that kind of catapulted things for him to realize, like, oh my God, I haven't really dealt with. You know, maybe there was a lesson in that for him as well, in terms of jumping from into things too quickly, right? And then, you know, he can kind of take himself back and step out of things for a bit and then come at it later with a little bit more knowledge. Then he can come out of this, maybe not come back to it later, that's the wrong thing, but you know, he can learn from the experience, right? But you can definitely support him through it. That's what I'm getting. Support him through it, but don't, you know, make sure you're not you're being respectful of your own boundaries and limits at the same time. Don't cross your own personal boundaries and limits to help, because that's not good. Like, you have those for reasons, right? You're welcome, Lucky. Awesome. I'm glad that that was helpful. Okay. Yep, Nikki, that's perfect. Okay, so um okay. Okay, give me a sec here, guys, and let me open my Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. Give me a second, guys. I gotta restock. I know why it's not letting. I'm just gonna restock these. Yeah. Okay. Let's. Well, you all, like, you tell me I don't need it, and then you tell me I do need it. I wish Etsy's being Etsy at the moment. Okay. So, Cecily, I was gonna come back to you, because I know you. Okay, give me a sec, guys. I gotta fix something. I gotta restock my live things here because the listing's out. But for some reason, he will not let me do it on my mobile device. I don't know what's going on with Etsy. There we go. Edit. Restock them, please. No, I don't want one. There we go. Yay. Okay, so that's fixed. Should be fixed. Yes, perfect. Okay. Coolios. Okay. So, okay. So Cecily, I was going to look into, let's see. You're very welcome. Thank you for the purchases. You guys are awesome. So your attachment to him is you still haven't forgiven him. Okay. And I'm going to say this because when we don't forgive people, we stay attached to them because the anger and the hatred and the bitterness that we hold towards them, there is a difference between forgiving and forgetting. And I think that a lot of people do not realize that, okay? Forgiveness does not mean you forget what happens. It means you release all the emotions connected to what happens. Forgiveness is an emotional release. And so when you don't forgive people, you're still holding on to emotions, which connects you to that person. Okay? I know because I had this issue with my father until he died. Um, until he died. It took me that long to realize that once I forgave him, I set myself free from that connection with him. And I've done it with my mother who's still alive. So that is that. So give me a sec here. Why is it not? Yeah, just be there for him, Lucky, to support him as much as possible. I think he still needs the support. He still needs, you know, the energy and to know somebody's there. But you know, sometimes we need help moving through things too. So, guys, I'm seeing all these comments. Okay, so Cecily, we're gonna look into Nikki. Okay, so we got Cecily and then we got Nikki. Okay. Cecily, you wanted to know why they're still bothering you and attached to you. Okay. So you answered my question about what the emotional attachment is. It's the forgiveness. But how can you release this attachment so that he's not going to bother you? Um, we'll look into why he's still attached to you. which I'm pretty sure is because you have not forgiven him. It's because you haven't severed the ties, my dear. You haven't taken the action to cut him loose. The Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups. So we have the King of Swords reversed. Okay. And the Ten of Cups, I feel like he's kind of just holding on to this ideal, okay, of why is he still attached? Okay. Can we get more details on this? Okay. Now, so yeah, there's still an attachment there that has, like I said, the King of Swords, it hasn't been severed, it hasn't been ended, it hasn't, and that's the reason he keeps coming back, because there's something for you to do that hasn't been done, and that is to forgive him. And I know that's going to sound really, I know you say you don't believe in forgiveness, but acceptance and forgiveness are kind of the same thing in a way. How can you make peace with something when you still harbor a lot of anger and a lot of resentment and a lot of things? Okay, we have the Three of Wands coming up. There's a lot of Wands energy, so there's still an energy linking the two of you. The Three of Wands has to do with sending things away, moving away from things, traveling away from things. And the way I'm seeing this and that it's being shown to me is that boat is still anchored there. It's not moving because you still have an anchor. Even though I can't physically see that anchor in this picture, it's almost like the boat, they're telling me he's still anchored there. He's still, because you haven't severed that tie. Okay, we have the Six of Wands. You haven't taken your power back. You're still giving him. You need to take your power back, and that's what forgiveness does. It allows you to take your power back. Take your power back, my dear. You are the Queen of Wands. You are the Queen of Wands, but you're giving him all your energy. Why? By not forgiving him, you are giving him all your energy. You're pouring out that energy. You're just like, here, we're going to stay tethered to each other. Five of Cups. Five of Wands, like I said, that anger, that bitterness, you haven't totally let it go. It's still there. And that's what's keeping you connected. That's what's energetically connecting the two of you. You haven't set this free. You haven't, and that comes with forgiveness. Okay? I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but it's true. It's true. It's true. So here's what I want you to do. Okay, I actually have, I've done this exercise myself. So, I know this works. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to write out all the things that you gained from this relationship. All the things that you, hold on. No, don't do that. Okay. Yeah. So you need to verbalize everything and all this energy and put it out. Okay. And this is something I've also done this. So I can say this also works as well because this is how I dealt with things with when it came to my father and my relationship with him that I had such a hard time. I never realized how much the anger and bitterness and hatred and just resentment that I held towards him held me back until I released it all. It was like a huge weight off my shoulders, but I had become so accustomed to that weight, it didn't feel different to me. I had grown up with it since I was like 7 years old, pretty much. So after all those years, it just becomes normal, right? It's like living in a toxic environment. You don't understand what a non-toxic environment is until you get out of that toxic environment. It's the same with forgiving people, right? We don't always understand how heavy these energies weigh on us until we've released them and let them go. Forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. It's to help you release all the energy and the emotions and the things that are still sitting in your heart towards this person. That's why your heart can't let go, because there's still so many emotions sitting in there towards this person because you have not forgiven them. You haven't released those emotions. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit down and write out a letter to this person if you can. If you can't, at least the writing will start the process, okay? Now here's what happened to me when I did this. I'm going to share my experience with you so that you may know what to expect. This could go one of two ways. One, you completely write the letter out. You get everything out. You can burn it. You can tear it up. You can throw it out. You can do whatever you feel pulled to do with that letter. Okay? Or if you're like me and you have had years and years and years of this built up, I couldn't even write the letter. As soon as I put pen to paper, all of those emotions started flooding out. I could not write. I couldn't think enough to process it to write it, but I felt it. And I cried, and I mean I like literally broke down. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And crying is another way of releasing emotional energy, right? When you can release that, whether you actually write the letter or not, it doesn't matter, that energy is getting released. That's what you need to do to get him gone. Because then you will have your heart won't have any attachment to him. Those emotions that are attaching you to him now because you haven't forgiven, you haven't released, you haven't let go, will be gone. So you want him gone, you have to forgive him. Doesn't mean you have to take him back. Doesn't mean you have to let him in your life. Doesn't mean he even has to be in your circle of people, because he does not. Okay, you can set those boundaries and limits and say, I forgive you, but I will not ever let you back in my life. That's healthy, especially for somebody who's really toxic to you, right? But that doesn't give him any power over you. It's you reclaiming your power, and then you're not pouring all of that energy into him or the situation. Yes, you've walked away. You've walked away, Cecily, but your heart hasn't. Because even though, so with my dad, okay, I cut ties with my dad. I did not talk to my dad for years. 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 I mean, he was in another country. He moved countries. I cut complete communication with him. I was like, I'm done. I'm finished. But there was still a part of me that was like, I was still angry with him for what he did. I was still bitter with him for what he did. There was still a lot of raw emotions that I didn't let go of. And because I didn't let go of those emotions towards him, that energetically linked me to him. So even if I wanted to let him go, I couldn't. Even though I physically walked away from him, emotionally, I was still tethered to him. Does that make sense? It's the same with you. Okay. So if you find a way, and I feel like communication, writing it out, taking the control back and writing out exactly what you want to say to him, writing out exactly how he hurt you or exactly what you need to release and just kind of let it go. That's going to free you because you just need to release those emotions. Once the emotions are gone, he'll be gone. Hopefully. And if not, then we can look into why he's still around even further because I think after he's gone, then your power will come back and you'll be able to set healthier boundaries and be like, nope, I'm not having any of it. Not that I don't think you haven't already, because by the sounds of it, you don't want him back. But release happens on a lot of different levels. And I think that's what people, sometimes we can physically remove ourselves, but we're still mentally connected to people, or we're still emotionally connected to people, or we're still energetically is kind of, there's lots of ways we can connect. You're very welcome. Thank you for letting me read for you and for all the payments. That is awesome. I appreciate it. Okay, now I know there was another one. Nikki. Nikki, what was your question, my dear? Current situation, relationship, how things will turn out, and what his true feelings are towards me. Okay, Nikki, I'm gonna ask you this because I feel they're telling me to ask you this. When you ask how things will turn out, is it because you want to know whether it is worth investing in or not? Good night, Cecily, and thank you for letting me read for you. Okay, so for everyone watching, if you're looking for a guaranteed reading or a specific question reading, if you really need a reading, want a reading, there is a link in the pinned comments to purchase one. They're $5. If you are just wanting a free reading, comment your name. I am doing free readings for people I'm pulled to, but people who pay are always going to get priority, so they're always going to get bumped to the top of the list, okay? And the free readings are just whatever message comes through for whoever I feel pulled to. So commenting your name does not guarantee a reading. I just want to throw that out there. Yeah, you want to know whether it's worth investing in or not? Okay, so that's what I'm going to ask because that's what they were telling me. Yeah. Perfect. So I'm going to tell you whether it's worth investing in or not. And then I will look into what his feelings are towards you. Now, keep in mind, his feelings towards you may change again because emotions change. So Okay. This is pretty good. Okay, so I'm gonna give you what I've got, and we're gonna build off of that because I feel like there's a lot more here. So we've got the Three of Cups coming up and the Eight of Cups. So do I feel like he's worth investing in? Yes. I do feel like there's definitely this person is a good support for you. He is definitely they are definitely worth investing in. But I do see that they're gonna be a support for you, but they're gonna support you in your journey. I feel like this person is someone who's meant to help you along your own personal journey because the Eight of Cups is coming up. And now the weirder thing is I was like, the Eight of Cups typically means walking away, but then there's the Three of Cups in front of that, so it's like wait, which is like support and friendship and, you know, really kind of valuing someone. Now, I feel like they're going to take you, and then that's when the journey came through. It's like you're going off on a journey, and they're kind of there to help support you through that. However, I am going to say to be careful because when the Three of Cups comes up, sometimes this can mean other interests and other relationships, okay? So, sometimes in love readings, although I'm not picking that up with this reading, but I'm going to throw it out there anyways. Sometimes with love readings, when the Three of Cups comes up, it means somebody who's non-monogamous, okay? So somebody who has multiple relationships at once, and that could cause you to possibly walk away. But I'm not picking up on that energy, but I'm going to throw that out there. The energy I was picking up on is this is like a friend, a support. They're good for you, and they're going to help you along your journey. There's something in this relationship that's going to help you grow and develop in terms of relationships and what you want, right? They're there for your growth and development and discovering what exactly you want out of relationships. His true feelings towards you, you are his sunshine, okay? But I do think that you're a little not quite what he was expecting. Um, you bring light and lots of light to his world. So you are his sun, which means you are his life. Without the sun, we would have no life, right? So you are the thing that lights up his world. You are, he has really bright and intense emotions for you. I think like he feels like you're the center of his world. Okay, the sun is the center of the universe, or the center of the solar system, right? You are the center of his world. You are what lights everything up for him, and that's how he feels. However, like I said, I don't feel like you were quite what he was expecting. There's a song that comes to mind that talks about having expectations of meeting somebody that's one way and then meeting somebody that's a completely different way and realizing that they are who you needed and that your expectations weren't. If you had met the person that you ideally wanted, it wouldn't have been any good. And I feel like that's kind of the energy that's coming through with this. Like, you are his whole world, and you are the center of his world, and you are what brings light to his life, and that's how he feels. But you're not exactly what he was looking for or expecting. Does that make sense? Now, I do want to know more about the spiritual journey or this relationship journey that's going on. So I'm going to see if I can get some more details about this journey here. He's going to help when it comes to your confidence and your love in yourself. That makes sense. So we have the Page of Cups coming up reversed, and then the Knight of Cups or Knight of Swords, sorry, is coming up behind that with the Two of Pentacles and behind that reversed. So I feel like there's a journey that you're going on with him. He's going to help you kind of establish an ebb and flow and a love for yourself to kind of help balance you out a little bit more and develop a confidence. I see like there's huge confidence. Like, he's going to build up your confidence level. But he's also going to call you out. So like, when you're being down on yourself, when you're not loving yourself, when you're not, I feel like this is more emotional in terms of, you know, he's going to be the one to deliver the harsh realities of things and give you those realizations, because I think that you do a lot of this subconsciously, and you need somebody to kind of pull this to the surface for you to show you that you're doing it, because I don't even think you realize you do it. So the Page of Cups doesn't really they don't necessarily love themselves in terms of, you know, a child has this vulnerability, and the reason they can open up so much is because they have trust in themselves, they have trust in the universe, they have, you know, and cups can also represent love, right? It's the love that a child has. But in this case, I feel like this is more internal love for you, right? And you kind of maybe struggle with self-love, struggling with loving yourself, or struggling also with being open and vulnerable towards people. You close yourself off. They're going to help you. Yeah, you close yourself off. That's what they keep saying. Close your heart. They're going to help you open that up to be able to trust and be vulnerable and to show those emotions that you love to hide from people. And this is going to help bring you back into connection with things. So Two of Pentacles is coming up reversed. They're going to show you like where pulling back and hiding this part and distancing, cutting yourself off from this part of yourself is detrimenting you. And they're going to be brutally honest about it. Okay, I'm not going to lie. To the point you may even get angry or upset with what they're saying, but don't. They really have your best interest at heart, I feel like. And they're trying to really kind of show you where you are not being open and vulnerable and where you're closing yourself off. And they're going to call it like it is, because the Knight of Swords does that. But he's not only going to call it like it is, he's going to help you overcome it. So they also kind of, you can see that this knight is pushing up against this page, right? So I feel like he's going to try and help you move past that as well and kind of push you past that. Does that make sense? But I think in the front and foremost of things, he also wants to be your friend. He doesn't just want to be a romantic partner. He wants to be your friend. He wants to help you grow and expand and be part of your journey. Nikki, did that answer what you wanted answered? Okay, so for everybody watching, there are two ways you can get a reading. If you want to guarantee a reading, well, you have a specific question, or you just need a reading, or you want a reading and you want a guaranteed reading, there is a link to purchase a reading in the comments below. They are $5. I have had people who want to leave more. If you want to leave more than $5, then just purchase multiple readings. Okay. That's totally doable, and I will appreciate it. I will definitely, if you want to ask multiple questions, go ahead. If not, that's okay too. You know, people are like $5 is, you know, some people are like that's perfect. Other people are like, no, they deserve more. So if you want to offer more, then please feel free to purchase more than one. That's the way that we can work around that. If you guys want a chance at a free reading, I am doing free readings for people. That's okay, Nikki. Give me a second and I'll just kind of debrief it in a moment. So if you guys are looking for free readings, comment your name. I'm doing free readings for people I'm drawn to. So just to make this clear, I'm not doing free readings for everybody who comments their names, just the people I'm drawn to, because that means the spirit has a message for you that I am supposed to deliver, okay? And I don't have messages for everybody and anybody. So please, if you want a guaranteed reading, purchase one, because that will guarantee you get a reading tonight. Okay. So yes. Nikki, yeah, no problem. Thank you for the donation. And so what I was getting, okay, I'll show you the cards. That card. So the cards that came out. So originally I pulled these cards for, actually, let me go back up to your comment here. Okay, so you were wanting to know if this, essentially, if this was worth investing in, right? There's the Three of Cups coming up, so that tells me that this is definitely something that can be expanded upon and built upon. It's definitely worth investing in because I feel like this builds a support system that you kind of really need, okay? He's interested in being there as a support. They're interested in being there to be not only a lover, but also a friend, because this has to do with friendships, okay? But they're also there to help you in some sort of spiritual journey. So the Eight of Cups kind of talks about, traditionally it talks about walking away, but they were kind of giving me like a star feeling, or somebody like the nomads kind of feeling with this card, in terms of that's the other meaning of this card, is a spiritual journey, searching for something, finding. In the traditional card, there's like a gap in between the two cards, right? Finding that cup that fills that gap. In this case, they're all balanced. So I feel like this is more of a spiritual journey for you, just to learn about relationships, right? Learn about love, learn about things in terms of relationships and love. Okay. In terms of his true feelings towards you, we got to the Sun card and the Nine of Cups. So the Sun card tells me that you are his world. Okay, you light things up. You give him life, okay? You make everything bright, sunshiny. The sun is the center of the solar system, right? You're the center of his existence. That's how he feels. Like you're the one who brings light to things. You're the one who makes everything worth living. The sun gives warmth, it provides life. That's how he feels about you. Okay? But there is the Nine of Cups coming up reversed in the background of this. So I feel like even though he's like, you're everything I need to live, and you're like the center of my existence, and you bring me happiness, you bring me joy, you bring out my inner child, you connect to me on so many levels, you aren't quite what he was expecting. So what came through with this was I can't remember the name of the exact song, but there was a song that came through that talks about, expecting a woman or looking for a person that looks a certain way, acts a certain way. We all have this idealized vision of who we want to be with built up in our heads. And then this person actually meets somebody else that does not fit that description at all, completely outside of what they envisioned and who they envisioned themselves being with, but they actually turn out to be the perfect person for them. And I feel like that's the energy that's coming through this card as well. With that is that even though you aren't exactly who they pictured themselves being with, and the ideal person, like that wish come true, you're the perfect person for them. And I think they're realizing that, their ideal person isn't exactly the perfect person. That even though you're not the ideal person, you're still perfect for them. Does that make sense? I pulled some cards on this spiritual journey, or this expansion, this thing that you're supposed to be learning in terms of love and spirituality and all that stuff. What I got was the Page of Cups reversed, the Knight of Swords upright. Yeah. And then the Two of Pentacles reversed. I feel like this person is going to help you in terms of opening up. And I got self-love in there too, in terms of having more confidence in yourself, loving yourself more, but also in being able to open up and be vulnerable with other people. So the Page of Cups is this very childlike energy, this childlike unconditional love that is open and vulnerable and just kind of loves everybody. Okay, when it's reversed, it's kind of that, it holds it back, right? It's a little more reserved, and that isn't expressed as much, and it isn't shown as much. And I also got self-love, but self-love ties into, if we love ourselves, we're able to be more vulnerable with other people as well, right? We don't necessarily love ourselves, or we've been open and vulnerable, sometimes that open and vulnerability can affect our confidence and our love for ourselves as well if we've been hurt, that kind of thing, right? And that's something that this person is going to help with along your journey, your relationship journey with them, or your spiritual journey. I feel like they're going to help you to be vulnerable, but be prepared because they are this Knight of Swords energy. So they're going to call you out as it is. They could be a little harsh about this. Okay? Not gonna lie. Sometimes even the best meaning Knight of Swords comes off as a little harsh. Okay? They are very much blunt and honest and to the point. Okay? But they also take action. So the way that this was coming through is it's pushing up against the Page of Cups. So they're trying to help push you through this energy. Okay, they want to help you learn how to open up and express things and to go with the flow a little bit more, because I feel like you're definitely somebody who likes structure. Like structure, stability. You don't like things up and down and all around, right? And maybe that's why he's up and down and all around, is to teach you to go with the flow of things and to teach you that, we can still maneuver through all of this. But I also feel like this is going to help bring a lot of balance to you as well, in terms of rebalancing your heart with your physical body, rebalancing your energies, if that makes sense. It's going to help bring some sort of balance. It may seem chaotic and off balance a lot of times, but trust me, it will bring balance in an inward level. I know that sounds really weird, but that's what I got. So I do think he's worth investing in because I do think there is some discovery there. The other thing that I did give the warning about with the Three of Cups is that sometimes in love readings, now I didn't pick up on this with you, but I'm going to throw it out there just because that sometimes it can mean non-monogamous relationships, meaning people who like to be with multiple people. So I've had this come up in readings where people are polyamorous or they're swingers or they're non-monogamous, right? And with the Eight of Cups and behind that, that could be a reason why, you know, something gets walked away from. But I wasn't picking up on that energy coming into play with you specifically. But I don't know why I brought it up, but I just did. So I think that's something to keep in mind, but I wouldn't dwell on it too much. I feel like their main purpose right now with you is support to kind of help you open up and discover how to open up and share your emotions and to trust people again, because there's definitely a closed reserved energy. Um So the situation between you guys right now is a karmic thing, and I think that it's going to help you build a stronger relationship, if that makes sense. So we have the karma card coming up, and then we have the Three of Pentacles as well. I feel like the situation is to kind of shed some light on something, because they keep being pulled to the I think the situation will turn out okay. Things will work out the way that they are meant to, but I definitely do see a new understanding or growth or development happening from the situation. They weren't exactly giving me a I feel like this situation's karma linked. So it has something to do with something that's been done in the past, rebalancing out something now, if that makes sense. So karma, to my understanding of karma, and everybody's got a different concept and understanding of karma, but the way it was showed to me from my guides is it's like a scale, right? When we do something, it tips the scale one way or another, and then something else has to be done to bring that scale back into balance. And that's karma, that's rebalancing things. So the fact that, you know, something was done in the past and something else is occurring that's going to rebalance that out, that's the karma. But in the end of it, you guys come out stronger because something is built off of that. And there is also new understanding that comes from that. So if anything, I think the situation is going to make you guys stronger and build to the relationship between you guys. Yeah, and Nikki, I don't see anything negative necessarily coming from this. Like the Three of Pentacles is building, right, and expanding on things. Threes always have to do, it's teamwork and collaboration. So I think it's gonna pull you guys together. Okay, guys. Yeah. There weren't any cards that came up addressing that specifically, Nikki, but yeah. I mean, I don't see the situation turning out bad from the two cards that I pulled in terms of how it's going to affect things between you. Three of Pentacles usually isn't a bad card. The Karma card, like I said, is kind of like, that has to do with like repercussions of things, but things balancing back out, I guess, in a lot of ways. Okay, guys. You're very welcome. I hope that that helped. So before I log off, guys, I just want to know if there's anybody else who wants to make a payment for a reading. If not, I'm going to jump off. No? Okay, guys. So, on that note, I'm going to jump off for the night. Thank you to everyone who purchased a reading. You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for everyone who joined as well. I appreciate all the support, all the comments. If you guys have not already, please feel free to like, follow me. If you really need one and you're going to purchase one, I will stay on. But if you guys, I'm not going to do any more free readings tonight, guys. So there's a link in the comments to, or the pinned comment below to purchase one if you guys really want one. They're $5. So, Anjum. Okay, perfect. Then I will stay on. Anjum, just let me know once you've made the purchase, and that way I know to look for it and make sure that it came through, because sometimes it doesn't. It usually comes through, but I've had a few times where people have had to like resend it, so. Just let me know. While we're waiting, I'm gonna pull a postcard from Spirit. I haven't done that tonight. I was gonna do it in the beginning and I forgot. So let's message for everybody. We got. Okay. So the message for everybody is, dearest you, all your prayers are heard and mirrored back to you from the unseen realms. Be grateful. Praise things before they manifest and always ask for the highest good. When you plead and beg, that will bring you only more reasons to plead and beg. Instead, offer your prayers as sacred gifts, as a testament to your faith in a higher power. Open up and let Spirit move through you and comfort you. Add meditation as a way to become empty so you will be ready to be filled with inspired epiphanies, peace, understanding, and joy. In this moment, your prayers are being answered for the highest good of both you and all life. Sometimes what you pray for is not supposed to happen for you, and your prayers will be answered in surprising ways. At this moment, we are listening intently to your prayers and want you to know that your highest good is our priority. All is well. So that's what I got. It's interesting. I like how they pointed out that pleading and begging, when and I've said this quite a few times that and that's why I typically don't give readings to people who are in that mindset, because no matter what I say, it's not going to change. They want what they want, right? When we plead and beg, we put more energy out to the universe of we need, right? We're doing it from a place of lack, which in turn creates more lack. If we approach it from a place of abundance or a place of gratitude, where we're opening ourselves up to be able to receive more in terms of what we want, and we're thankful for what we already have, right? When we can approach it from being thankful for what we already have, then we put the energy out there of, I'm thankful for this. And then that thankful energy comes back and we gain more stuff to be thankful for. That's kind of how it works. The universe is a mirror, right? Everything's kind of mirrored back to us. So what we put out, we get back. If we're putting out unfulfilled kind of energy, then we're going to get back unfulfilled kind of energy. If we're putting out energy where we're grateful, then we're going to get back more things to be grateful for. And the other part that I liked was that sometimes our prayers aren't answered because they aren't for our highest good. They aren't supposed to happen for us. I think some people get really, really, if you've ever heard that song, Unanswered Prayers, it's a really amazing song for pointing that out, that sometimes, our answers, our prayers go unanswered because there's better things out there for us. So, soulmate, I'm only doing paid readings. So if you want, right now, I closed the free readings because, yeah. So if you really want a reading, there's a link in the pinned comment to purchase one, and they're $5. Okay, perfect. So let me refresh. I am going to butcher your name. So I'm just gonna pull your name up on the screen. Anjum. I know I'm gonna butcher your name. I apologize. What's your question? What do you want me to look into for you? I just got your payment, so it went it's cleared. That's what I was trying to say. I just need to know what you want me to look into. What's your question?
Anjum?
Yeah.
I want to know about my boss.
Okay, hold on. Cool. We can look into that. Just let me see. I want to say, like, the Ghost Tarot, but am I off? Yeah, I'm off. Why do I want to? Okay, cool, cool. I just got it. Let's see. Oh. Oh. Ooh, okay. Um, hmm, okay. So we've got the Knight of Wands reversed coming up, with the Four of Pentacles coming up, with the King of Cups coming up. And then the Nine of Pentacles is on the bottom. So I feel like your boss knows that you have potential to be independent and possibly even take their job. Okay, that being under the bottom of the deck is like the potential. It's the seed that's sitting underneath the thing. And that's the Nine of Pentacles is financial independence. Okay, it's being able to manifest whatever the hell you want. And I feel like that includes taking your boss's job if you really wanted to. And I think that's what your boss is scared of. So I don't feel like their intentions are kind of to hold you back from progressing forward, okay? So there is the Knight of Wands reversed, which tells me that you have the ability to progress forward and you have the ability to progress forward fast, okay? Wands are quick moving. You have passion, you have desire, you have drive, and you have willpower to move forward with things and to move ahead with things. He or they, I shouldn't say he, I keep wanting to say he tonight. There's a lot of male energy around. They want to hold you back. They don't want to see you progress forward. They are trying to zap all that. I feel like trying to zap all that passion. They're trying to cage it. They're trying to like, be like, nope, nope, we got to put you in a container because we don't want you going anywhere. Okay. They don't want you progressing forward because there's definitely a fear there that you're going to come up on top and possibly put them out of work. They're definitely trying to keep you stuck. Okay. They're giving you just enough to be steady and stable, but not enough to progress forward. Okay, so the four of Pentacles is coming up, and this is very much that boxed in kind of energy in terms of it's like they just want to give you the bare minimum, right? Enough to live a stable life off of, kind of like minimum wage, right? It's enough to live off of, but it's not enough to. It's just enough to barely live off of, right? It's the bare essentials, right? And I feel like that's what he's doing. He's keeping you in a place where, you know, it's just barely enough. Just to keep you satisfied. It's like I don't want any trouble. I don't want any, you know, so I'm gonna give them just enough to keep them satisfied. But they're doing it in a sneaky way because they're doing it and they're pretending like they actually care. Okay. They're showing and actively taking actions to come off as this caring person. But I'm gonna tell you, I don't caring, compassionate, kind person. And though they may be, I also feel like they're somebody who lets their emotions kind of get the best of them in a lot of ways, and they want to ground you. Okay, they want to keep you from moving forward. Now, why? Why do they want to do this? I don't think they're playing around, but I don't think that they have the best of intentions for you either. Like, I don't think they want to see you grow. I don't think they want to see you develop, you know. But I don't think they're doing it just for kicks. They're doing it more out of fear that, you know, you're going to surpass them and take their job kind of thing. But, okay. Okay, so why they're doing this, we have the Knight of Swords coming up reversed. They know you're intelligent, they know you. I feel like you learn really quick too, and you're somebody who's you're able to pick up on things very fast. They know that you have the mental capacity to exceed them, and they want to hold you back. They don't want you moving forward. They know you're smart, you're intelligent, you're passionate, you're driven, all these things that you need for success, right? Um, and they're like, nope, nope, can't do that because then she's gonna come up on top, right? Or they're gonna come up on top. Sorry. You're going to come up on top, and that's what they don't want. They see your hopes. Okay, they know that you have dreams and that you have this potential to be a leader and to be someone that people follow, but they're trying to keep that. They want you have hopes and dreams, but I feel like your dreams don't you have hopes and dreams of being able to how am I going to word this? They really want to hold you back. That's all that's coming through. They just want to hold you back because you have hopes, you have dreams, and you can get places, and they know that. And, I feel like this has turned into like a survival thing for a lot of people, and I don't feel like it's just your boss included, but I feel like a lot of people are worried about their survival anymore, and they will do whatever they need to do to keep a job, to keep their position, to keep money coming in because they're scared that if they lose money or they lose positions or, so they do what they can to keep people held back. And I feel like that's kind of what's coming through. You have hopes and dreams, but you don't necessarily see yourself as a leader, even though I feel like you are. The Six of Wands is coming up reversed and behind that star card. Like you are somebody that people come to, um, but you don't see yourself that way. You don't like actively express this energy. You're like, I'm not a leader. I'm like you have the potential to be a leader. You have the energy there, and I feel like everybody else sees it in you, but you don't see it in yourself. Um, which is the energy they're playing off of. Okay. You really have to work on developing your self confidence. I feel like because you have the ability to take this person's like once you make a decision on something, you have the ability to really go for it and succeed with it. And but you actually need to make that decision and go with it. Like you have hopes and dreams, but you just don't see yourself as successful. And I feel like that kind of holds you back a little bit. The Ten of Cups and the Seven of Cups and the Knight of Cups. I feel like your hope and wishes and dreams is to have something that you can be 100% emotionally fulfilled with. But it seems like there's no other option right now in terms of what to do or where to go. And you're like, I want to move on. My heart says move on. Your energy says move on. Everything kind of says move on, but sometimes it feels like there's no other options. They want to keep you in this rat race. Don't let them do it. Okay. I feel like your boss in this rating has no intentions of helping you progress forward, even though I feel like that is what you want to do. Like you want to be able to grow and develop and move forward with things, and they don't want that. I think it's mostly out of fear. They don't want you becoming independent and possibly telling them to go hoop it, and you know independence is scary. Does that make sense? I don't think they're doing it for fun though. I think they're very serious about what they do. They're very serious about what they're doing. But I feel like it's one of those companies that you can work your ass off at, or one of those jobs that you can work your ass off at, but you're never gonna like climb the ladder. Did that resonate at all? I think they're doing it because they know that, like, at the end of it, you could have everything you dreamed of, everything you want. But I think they're worried about their own self-preservation. I feel like, too, with the Six of Wands coming up, is that underneath that star card, that, like, they know that you have hopes and you have dreams, right? But they want to keep you from being successful. They want to keep you from trying to make up your mind. So they try and keep you satisfied, right? Because if they can keep you satisfied, then you're not going to make a decision to move on, right? Um, they know that you have the potential, like I said, to be a leader if you set your mind to it. And they know that you have the potential to achieve anything you want if you set your mind to it. Like, you are a very driven individual. And they try to keep that part of you kind of under wraps because, again, you know, nobody wants that. They don't want that. They don't want you taking a leadership position because I think that means that they're worried that they're going to lose their job. So instead, they try to make it seem like, they're really they know that you want this and that this is your desire is to be fulfilled and to be doing a job that makes you emotionally fulfilled. But they try to make it seem like there's no other options out there for you to prevent you from moving on, even though, I think you know otherwise. So that is that. I hope that was helpful. And guys, I'm going to jump off because I'm going to call it a night. So thank you again for everyone who donated. Well, purchased. I shouldn't say donated. Thank you to everyone who purchased a reading tonight. You guys are awesome. For those of you who showed up and followed, that is awesome too. I didn't get to reading you. I will be back on Thursday to do some more readings, so feel free to join me then. If you guys ever want or need a private reading, I do also offer those. They are available over in my Etsy shop. There's lots of different types of readings over there. There's lots of spiritual-based readings because those are my specialty. But there's also regular readings as well. So feel free to check that out if you so wish. I'll edit the pinned comment and switch that over to my Etsy shop so that you guys can check that out if you're interested. I hope you all have an awesome, awesome night, and thank you so much for joining me. If you are watching on Facebook and you have not already followed my page, please feel free to do so. If you're watching on YouTube and you have not subscribed to my channel, please feel free to do so. I'm on about every other day. Typically, that might change once I find work and my schedule changes, but as of right now, with my current schedule, I'm on every other day. So I hope you guys all have an amazing, amazing night, and I will see you all again on Thursday. Bye for now, guys.